Jahira, Boo is trying his best to explain, but I still do not understand your anger.
Do not hide behind your hamster, Ranger. You do not understand because you do not listen. We were the first to discover the cult. And if you had only waited, we might have marshaled our numbers and—
Good does not wait for evil to button up its breeches. When it offers buttocks for the smacking, Minsk and Boo greet cheek with hand. It is well that Boo's innocent ears still ring from all this shouting.
This mess falls on our heads, Minsk. The city under siege, its people poisoned by the cult. It all might have been avoided if you had just put your feelings aside and listened.
I have already pledged my sword and hamster both. What more does Minsk have to give?
Your word, Ranger. That next time you will stop and think. I will not always be here to tell you what to do.
If not here, then where? Wherever there is, Minsk and Boo will go too. My hamster, he will not be parted from you again, Jahira.
I missed him too. And try as you might, I know you have not missed my point as neatly as you pretend.
My old home. Thank you for bringing me back. Look around. You'll find some of my things still intact. Perhaps even useful to you. An old container for brains. Empty. Shame. It would have been nice to find one to sustain me now. A recipe for fiddlehead soup. A favorite meal of mine. When I had need of meals like that.
Yes.
The chains I used to buy my meals. Villains and lawbreakers. You see, I tried to exercise morality where I could. Get Yankee. Vlakith has found us. Get rid of them, quickly! Rascal's collar. My poor four-legged friend. Their lives are so brief, so simple, and yet full. A shell. A keepsake from my final voyage. Pinched in a moment of sentimentality. My old wardrobe. The home of all my disguises. We are what we appear to be, and so appearances matter. My cutlery set. A gift from my mother. The butter knife is missing, but otherwise it looks to be complete. I don't need it anymore, but the memory stirs something in me still. My old sword. My first purchase as an adventurer. No use to me anymore. It's yours, if you want it.
Lae'zel, glad you could join us. The Kithraki have spread word of that artifact that you carry. Tell me, Lae'zel of Kalir, what reward do you think the astral prism will fetch once I pluck it from your corpse and present it to Vlakith? What honors, what riches will the Undying Queen grant me when I hand her the failed prince?
This artifact contains the key to our freedom. It is not for the Lich Queen to take.
I know exactly what the prism contains. The traitor prince who would hand us to Gake. The false heir's head will make a fine trophy for Vlakith. As for you, I will leave nothing behind but meat and shattered bone. Damnable whelp. For 1,000 years I have given my life to Vlaakith. I will deliver to her the Prince of the Comet. She shall exalt me. The Gish will record my great deed in slate. Chamar Zala Vlaakith!
It's you! Look at us! We made it to the city! We made it to the Elf Song Tavern! And you? Never thought I'd live to perform for the greatest audience in the realms. The entirety of Baldur's Gate. Lacarissa lets me practice up here when she's on shift downstairs. She's too good to me. But you... I have a bone to pick with you, O brave adventurer. Big trouble. The most trouble you've ever been in. I've decided I'm not going to perform in the Elf Song. Mainly because only the Elf Song itself is allowed to perform. I'm going to open up a school of bards. The best in the realms. To usher in a new age of magic and musicianship. And it's because of you that I dare to dream big enough. You're going to make me cry, damn you. Here. My very first lute, tuned to perfection. Thought you'd appreciate it when I'm rich and famous. Take care, my friend. Thank you for helping a stumbling bard in a druid's grove find her spark again.
They say that home is where a person can be their truest selves, without guile, without pretense. You did well to see off the Githyanki who had invaded mine. And now that you have seen where I come from, you know all there is to know about me. At least, all that matters. The flavors of my favorite fiddlehead soup, should you wish to experience it for yourself. My beloved confidant and loyal companion Rascal. The very first reward I gifted myself on completion of my first adventure. The garments with which I concealed and later constructed my appearance as the Emperor. We spoke of my relationship with Duke Berlin Stelmane, a story I have told no one else. I have no more secrets from you. No need to resort to subterfuge. We are true allies now, working towards a common goal. By necessity, not design. But I'm glad you appreciate the richness of my experience. Yours has been no less exciting, but even with all your experience, it has not been easy. The only way we were ever going to get close enough to the brain to destroy it was by working together. But few would trust a mind flayer. So I did what I had to convince you. I studied you, your motivations, your actions, your desires. I deduced the best way to align your goals with my own. That you are complex and full of contradictions. It was no easy task. But I had to persist. I needed your absolute dedication to the cause. I anticipated the challenge, and I anticipated your resistance. What I didn't anticipate was how much I would enjoy your company, your mind. Sometimes, I felt almost like we were dancing our way towards something deeper. Would you like that?
The back of your mind warms with a rush of feeling, the Emperor's feeling. Heat, care, arousal. You feel its breath merging into yours, cold, smelling faintly of vanilla and garlic. Its breathing quickens as you pull in close to its face, its excitement palpable. You pause a moment as a thought occurs to you. Where is a mind flayer's mouth? A memory stirs, diagrams in a book you read long ago. A mind flayer's mouth is underneath the tentacles.
I can make this easier for you if you like. My other form might be more familiar for you to navigate.
Everything you ever dreamt of and more. The single greatest experience of your life.
Sorry. You didn't leave me much energy to spare to maintain appearances.
It seems the tadpole allowed you to share more than you would have liked with your companions.
I said I'd protect you from the Absolute, not each other. And I was distracted. Come. It's time to get dressed. We have work to do. I am tempted, but it will be quite some time before I am able to do that again. And time is not on our side. The Elder Brain's hive mind has grown to monstrous proportions. And through the Crown's magic, it has complete control over each and every member. It was intelligent before, but now, with its hive mind established across the city, it is well on its way to becoming indestructible. We must stop it while we still can, before we too become its slaves.
Wait, you? What in shit shadows have you come back for?
You have been the subject of many wrinkled brows between my hamster and I, Sir Bankerbeard. On the one hand, you are clearly evil and deserving of a mouthful of righteous knuckle. But, on the other hand, the one in which Boo sits and pleads your case. At the time of our last meeting, Minsk was the evil one. So, we are not agreed on whether we will return here and feed you to a mimic yet.
I see. Well, by all means, keep me up to date. And not even a whisker light. God, you're a boring bastard. Me too, I suppose, because I'm not even tempted to scam you. Take this vault key. You'll find something by way of thanks inside.
Oi! What's this? You ain't supposed to be down here, mate.
You spot a curious metal contraption in the water. A submersible.
No one tells me anything. Last I heard, Lord Gortash handles this port's inspections personally. Anyway, if you're in charge of the waterways, you've got a lot of work to do. Those humbly servants are making the trip to the Iron Throne damn near deadly. Bloody salt is always flopping around in the water. I've almost hit one or two now. Might have even nicked one off the port bow the other day. Maybe that'll teach them to keep out of the way. You're testing me. All right. It's an underwater prison. Most secure in the realms. Myself and Cap are the only ones who can make it there in one piece. Lord Gortash keeps some Gondians there. Collateral to keep those working in the Steelwatch Foundry under control.
Older Raven Guard is here. He must be.
If he is, that's Lord Gortash's business. I don't ask questions. Do you now? Boss never sends anyone that away but prisoners. Oh, the Jableeder's on you. Look, I don't want any trouble, but I know old Gortash is up to some mad shit in there. I'll take you in, but look, there's some bad shit going down in there. You don't want to get involved. Neither did I, but it was them or me. I'll get Cat warmed up. Get in when you're ready.
Aren't you the intrepid little adventurer, digging and diving where you don't belong? I thought we were friends. The Iron Throne. a ruin from the city's dark past that could become a template for a brighter future. It is a most useful tool for motivating my Gondian workforce, key to the construction of the steel watch that keep the city safe. But like all tools, the moment it ceases to be useful, I will break it. Thanks to your trespassing, that moment may have come. Return to the city, find Orin, and claim her Netherstone as you agreed to do. And then I will forget this transgression.
Your conscience pricks. You did agree to an alliance after all. But then again, what honor need there be with someone like Gortash? How many people are trapped within? How many lives will be lost?
That was a mistake. When the corpses start to wash up on the shore, remember, you could have prevented all this.
Halt.
A cold, suckering wetness grasps at your mind. A voice, familiar to you from the Underdark, wraps itself around your brain.
You must act with haste. Duke Ravengard is held within these walls. He must be extracted. Normally I would find your people's lust for pleasantries amusing. Unfortunately, we have no time. There are many hostages here. Duke Ravengard chief among them. He needs your help. Do not concern yourself with me. The city will be best served if you save Duke Ravengard. Duke Ravengard is held in the security wing. Be careful. There are many hazards. This structure is collapsing. Act with speed. Act with efficiency. Good luck.
Will, my pet, I was hoping you'd bound along. A bargain's a bargain, and I've come to see it through. Mia Furia. Kneel for me.
What are you doing?
Exactly what you asked for. Now, stand back and enjoy the show.
Calmness greets you upon exiting the submersible. Unlike the Iron Throne, you remain intact. It seems most of the hostages from the throne share your fate. Duke Ravengard approaches you, looking confused.
He's tadpoled, but under my protection now, just like you. His mind is his own again.
Father? Will? Gods, it pains me to look at you. By Baldrin's graces, why have the hells ordained you to save me?
Your tadpole resonates with Ravengard's. The exhausted Grand Duke is a flurry of emotion.
By every last hell, son, my head.
Ravenguard's head still aches so powerfully the pain seeps into you. The Absolute may be silenced, but the Duke's parasite still remains.
I know you have questions. Please, go to our camp. You'll be safe there. We'll talk soon enough.
Ravenguard answers with silence. He and Will have much to discuss.
Your world's air. I never imagined missing its feeling on my skin. Curious. I owe you a great debt, son-child. One I shall repay. When I return to the surface, I will alert my colleagues at the Society. Find me there, and I will offer you what aid I can against this evil.
Father will be waiting in camp. It's about time we talked.
I have no wish to see what floaters will break about the water after our little visit down below.
If I thought the city had despoiled the nature above, that harbor water was far from a sparkling blue.
Woo! What a ride! I won't forget it anytime soon. And Cap neither. I might have underestimated you before. Won't do that again. Thanks for the adventure.
First you cleave my heart in twain, now you shatter it to pieces. My son a monster. Twisted beyond recognition. To think my blood flows through those veins. Is this my fate? To be freed from Gortash's hell, only to be trapped in yours?
It isn't what you think. It never was.
You turned your back on me, on your city, to chase the she-devil and her power. She stinks up the place even now. It is exactly what I think.
Ravenguard's tadpole clenches as your memories and wills flow into him.
My tears rooms. I'm in your mind.
The Grand Duke sees Mizora and her infernal sisters. He sees the agony in Will's face as an impossible choice is set before him.
No. My son.
The past becomes present, and Will's thoughts are laid bare. Ravenguard sees Will partnering with Mizora to defeat Tiamat's cultists before they could lay siege to Baldur's Gate, and he sees everything beyond. The Nautiloid journey, the perilous path to Moonrise, the astral prism, and the Emperor within.
Will.
Everything I did for Baldur's Gate. I did for you.
My son. You sold your soul to save Baldur's Gate, and I cast you out for it. You gave yourself to the Hell's eternal fires so I might walk free. By the gods. Can you ever forgive me?
There's nothing to forgive. You wanted to protect the city. I only ever wanted the same.
You are a better man than most, and a better son than I deserve. I'll yet make amends, but my duty is first and foremost to the city and its people. There's something I must ask of you. Before I was captured, I was on a mission. Returning from Elturel, I discovered the plans of the Absolutists. I immediately realized the city couldn't defend itself against such an army. I didn't despair. Because the city has a secret guardian, a worm that sleeps beneath. He can be called upon in times of great need. This is such a time. You've been trained in the ways of the great champions and proven to be one of them. The worm will answer your call. You must seek him out. A bronze dragon, yes. He sleeps beneath us even now, awaiting a hero to rouse him. The worm goes by many names. Ansur, the waiting storm, the heart of the gate. He promised Balduran he'd protect the city if ever its existence was threatened, but just the once. Since then, the city has faced countless threats, but we always overcame. There was never a need to call on the worm. Until now. The Absolute is the greatest threat Baldur's Gate ever faced. The worm must be awakened, and the task falls to you. Take this. The legend of Ansur. An ancient epic, ill-remembered, dismissed as a mere tale. Let it set the path before you.
Baldur's Gate stands on the brink of the abyss. My father was clear. We awaken the worm and take back the city.
Will, you are more valorous than Balduran himself. May the city know the truth of my only son. Pride of Ravengard. Pride of Baldur's Gate. The Absolute's voice is gone, but I still hear its echoes. Reflections of reflections. Hell's Floric. While the Absolute commanded my mind, I condemned her to death and confined her in Worm's Rock prison. She stood by me even as the Hell's fires lapped at my feet. You must free her. Tremendous news. She proves as loyal to you as she is to me. I couldn't bear it if she died by my command. May the Triad guide her steps. Please. Floric's a great friend to me, and a great friend to the city. She'll make a stalwart ally for you. I was returning from Elturel. My traveling party stopped at an inn, Joaquin's Rest, to lay our heads. It wasn't the heat that woke me. It was the scent. Cultists had set fire to the place. I don't remember being taken. Just the smoke burning my throat before I fell. I awoke in Moonrise Towers, inside one of those damnable pods. The rest, well, the rest goes without saying. A complicated one. I went to greet Elturel's High Overseer, only for the Archdevil Zariel to drag the city into the Hells. I've been touched by Avernus, been a plaything for demons. A tale for other places, other days.
We'll finish what my father couldn't. We'll awaken Ansur, the heart of the gate. I disappointed him once. I won't do it again. I do. and so does my father. Go on, read the legend of Ansur. Then we can plan our next steps. It's complicated. There's the joy of reconciliation, the relief of forgiveness, and the anxiety of new expectation. It's a flurry of emotion. I'm not sure how to make sense of it. Joy. To my father, I was only ever a boy. Incredible that he can see the man I became. Once all this is ended, once we've crushed the brain and freed the people, I could once more call Baldur's Gate home. Whether I return there, well, only time will tell. Let's talk. It's not just a legend, it's a history. Consider this. To Wormway 'neath prison's deepest level. That must mean Worm's Rock Prison. That's where we'll find the entrance to this Wormway. Then this. With the shock of a true hero's spark flickers, the torches are light, and Worm's eyes shall awake a glitter. To open the way, we'll need to spark torches. This dragon Ansur was Balduran's ally. We'd be fools to let him sleep while the Dead Three's chosen raised the city.
Stand on your liver!
It is stand and deliver, little fig. Though I think I like yours better. You bellow like a true berserker.
The commander said I only had to keep out bad ones. So you can pass. I'm not a little girl. I'm a warrior.
Even I could have told you. This was a silly thing to say.
Now pass. Oi! Stop a moment. Commander, you're in trouble!
Oh, Maller's Mark, here we go.
Are we quite sure she hasn't actually died this time, brother? She looks dead.
Smells it too. Ooh.
It has been a hard road. But I can clip you both around the ear to prove I am no ghost. If it would help.
Forgive us, Mother. We're just surprised you still know how to find your way home. She always brings the smartest people home, too.
Enough, Ryan. I taught you better manners than that.
No, you didn't.
A sending spell can carry 25 words. Do you know how many Jaheira's only message contained? In all this time she's been away? 7. The message went, I'm sorry, you know what to do.
So why haven't you done it? You were supposed to get the young ones out of the city.
And you were supposed to be dead. That's what your oh-so-stoic message meant, yes? Yet here you are. So, what happened out there?
I got my skin saved by this one. We've come to take the fight to the cult. Which is exactly why you all cannot be here.
Why? You plan on winning, don't you? You're the one who saved her, so tell me. Are we all doomed? Oh, the one stern parent is quite enough, thank you very much.
You are a very irritating girl.
This isn't your house, remember? You'll keep a civil tongue under our roof if we let you stay at all.
Have mercy, sister. She's old, after all.
So old!
Seems I'm outvoted. See, Mother? That is how you go about talking things through with your family. Now, if there's more to discuss, then bloody well come in. And wipe your boots.
Yes? I have given you much reason to think that Harper's hoard secrets like precious stones, but I promise you, this was not some intrigue. Just, plain and simple foolishness. As if by keeping clear of my family, I might keep them clear of the cult in turn. And if this fight were to go against us, well, they had already done their mourning. Why visit it on them twice? Well, if fool I be, then at least I'm in good company. I was wrong to think I could keep my children from this fight. They're Baldurian born and bred. The only damned reason I root myself in this place. This city is a cesspit. An open sewer of the soul that taints us with its filth and churns us out when all that is good has been stripped away. It also happens to be their home. And so it is mine. Ugh. That might be the first time I have said that out loud. Now come. We had best get to saving it. Lest Ryan turn her ire on us both.
I take no responsibility for your plants. You know I'm more of a mushroom man.
You've let my study turn into a thicket. Is this what I am hearing?
I tended to it. I just let it thrive in its own independence. You know, same way you raised us.
I raised you to be a sweet and kind boy. What happened?
I watched what you did instead of listening to what you said. This house has taken in a lot of children over the years. Mother dear was sometimes more commander than, well, mother dear.
Wards, family, lifelong irritants. Use whichever term you wish.
We were down the market when I was about 9 years old. Some merchant started in with the usual. Yes, but where's your family? Whose son are you, really? When Mother was done with him, well, let's say he won't have any sons of his own to worry about.
Nature's law in action.
A fine day to you, sir. Are you known to this court? Crude manners, but you speak well enough. For a peasant.
Jessamine discovered an old family tree in my study. We haven't had a moment's peace since.
Tetherian nobility. You might be royalty, Jaheira. You don't want to be queen, of course, and Ryan curses too much, so it would have to be me.
Careful, girl. They have a habit of taking against tyrants there.
I'm not a tyrant. If anyone calls me one, I'll have Fig chop their head off.
No arguing. Just tell me you're well.
I am well.
And Minsk?
Boo is also very well. And happy to see you, Ryan.
And I him. Enough that I'll let him keep his lumbering, sweaty steed inside. So, this cult. What's our plan?
I'm not fool enough to think I can change your mind. But if you're staying, I don't want you taking up arms. There are other ways to fight.
Really? Like what?
You shame me. In all our hunting, I had put them from my mind.
Right. Leave them to us then. If we can't get them past the checkpoints, we'll at least make sure they're watched over if it comes to fighting in the streets. If I have to stay home and babysit, then it's your job to make sure there's still a home to look after. Take what you need, and we'll do the grand reunion when you come back for good. So, lovely as it is to have you back, Mother, go away. You have work to do.
Aye, aye, Commander. Wait, one more thing. There are doppelgangers on our trail. One even went so far as to steal my face.
Huh. All right then. If you turn up looking for hugs and kisses, I'll be sure to shoot first.
That's my girl. I hope you were hibernating, little cub. I can't think of another reason you wouldn't come down to say hello.
Jaheira! I didn't want to see if you were really dead. They said...
Who said?
Jord and Ryan. They didn't think I could hear.
You little sneak thief? Well, they were wrong. Look! Not dead. I just... had a few adventures. Like, No, Cub. She does not mean me. Now, Cub. Solitude is a wonderful thing, but not too much. Come downstairs and fight with your sisters.
Wait. Here. I was... keeping this safe.
My Harper pin. Oh, was a certain little sneak thief playing down in my sanctuary?
No.
Keen eye. But if it's supplies you seek, weapons to aid in our fight, you won't find them behind that door. There is nothing back there of worth to anyone but me. Oh, you need not apologize. I only seek to spare you some disappointment. On my word, all you will find inside is dust. And the moldering keepsakes of a much younger woman.
Jaheira, our friend has put their trust in us. Boo thinks it is only right to return the gesture, no?
You so rarely make a habit of being right, Ranger, that it puts me ill at ease when you are. Pass then. Go on. See what it is a foolish old Harper thinks worth hiding away.
Rite of the Timeless Body. What's that about? I'd best ask Jaheira.
Yes? The threat of spanking never kept the children from poking through my things. Why should it deter you? It is a ritual, or it describes one at least, practiced by druids of certain esoteric circles. If they be learned and powerful enough, the practitioner of this ritual might slow their aging, extend their life well beyond its natural reach. In greener days, I might have been strong enough to do it. I might be yet, with the right preparations. Do not look at me like that. I have been content to see the span of my natural years. A privilege far too few in this world can claim. I do not speak of clinging to life for its own sake, I just look back on that life's work and I wonder, is it done? The dead three plague the world still. The city still falls prey to small minds like Gortash or lost souls like Orin. It is every Harper's hope to be a light that drives out darkness. But I've lived long enough to see so many of those lights burn out, while the shadows cling stubbornly on. Knowing that, isn't it our duty to burn on if we can? To fight for as long as we are able?
Minsk does not understand the question. You will live forever, Jaheira.
Of course I will, Berserker. And you will sprout soft and golden locks from that shining skull. In truth, I had put this ritual from my mind. Until last light. Trapped in that darkness. I turned to my research again. What if I was a little stronger? As fast as I once had been. Then you came. And made the question moot. But I kept this. Just in case, I told myself. A final resort. Perhaps you were not the savior you seemed. I had learned better than to think of life as some simple tale after all. There is no guarantee of happy endings, or true heroes. I believe that still. But when I look on all that we have achieved since, I wonder perhaps it is not heroes we need. Only people who are willing to try. I do not know what manner of story that makes. But I do know that without an ending, it would be no story at all. So I will accept mine. When and however it comes. As for this city story, well... Well, that is entirely your problem now, Cub. Ha! Do not thank me for slinging a weight around your neck. I might start to feel bad. I do mean what I say. But I am also a harper. In every honeyed word, there is a hook. But I do not plan on going anywhere just yet. And besides, you still have a tadpole in your skull. You are almost certainly going to die first.
Jaheira littering the streets in broad daylight. I swear, sometimes it is as if she does not care for this city at all.
It is no legend. Ansur does sleep beneath the rock and will come to the city's aid when it is in need. He is oath-bound to do so.
A Mistra's likeness. It's been some time since I stood before her in a place like this.
There she stands, just as Elminster promised. Mistra, goddess of the weave, mother of all magic.
The old man wasn't lying. She's opened the summoning channel. Can't you feel it?
Gale's right. The very air around the statue crackles with magic. It sets your teeth on edge.
A stream of pure, undiluted weave. I only have to reach out, and it will carry me to Mistra, wherever she may be.
The first step is difficult, of course. Minsk could throw you in, if you prefer.
Time was, I'd have given my right arm for a chance to speak with Mistra again. The left one, too. Maybe a knee. Am I? You're right. I am a strong, capable wizard. And this is no more than a casual reunion with an ex-lover. My omnipotent, omniscient ex-lover. I always wonder what being nervous would feel like. I hate it. hardly matters. There's not much further I could fall in Mistra's estimation. But I'd like to at least leave her with something to think about. During my time locked away in Waterdeep, I prepared a quite comprehensive speech for her on the subject of our former relationship and the manner in which it ended. Alas, recent events have rendered the majority of it moot, so I'm gonna have to improvise. Unless you have any words of wisdom to impart before I go. You'd make a fine 3-dragon anti-player, you know? I think it's best I keep a cool head going into this. Approach it like a particularly high-risk round of 3-dragon ante. I'll let Mistress show her flight, and then I can see how strong a chance we stand of winning the gambit. I'll only be gone for a matter of moments. The Outer Planes experience time quite differently to our own. Wait for me. Please.
Gale of Waterdeep. You look well.
As do you. But I assume we're not here solely to exchange compliments. So why am I here?
You discovered what lies at the heart of the Absolute, the crown of Karsus. And you disobeyed my instruction. Why?
Because you had no right to ask that of me. You cast me out. Remember?
You were my lover, my chosen. Yet still you know so little of me. The past cannot be undone with self-pity, nor can a future be forged. Only with the truth will you see the way ahead. The fragment of magic you tried to return to me was not of my creation. It was the Karsite Weave. It is a corrupted, half-born magic, wrought in the brief moment Karsus ascended to godhood. It hungers for power, just as he did, and it can never be sated. You unleashed something that would consume all magic in existence, and yet you thought only of preserving yourself.
So that's what you're scared of. With the crown of Karsus reforged, I could take control of the Karsite Weave.
You can no more control the Karsite Weave than a weather vane could control a storm. That it entered your body and consumed no more than your powers was a miracle. But we will not be granted another. The only reason the orb sleeps is because I have allowed it to feed on the true weave. A temporary measure, but one that will not be enough to save us. With each day that passes, the Elder Brain threatens to become a new kind of god. Its worshippers, a scourge of soulless illithids. If you will not use the orb to end this abomination, then you must find a way to separate crown and host. When you've done this, you must surrender the crown of Karsus to me.
A great ask indeed. You've given me much to think on, as you always did.
So be it. Follow the needle of your own wisdom. We shall see how truly it leads you.
Back on mortal soil once more. I can't believe I saw her. After all this time. Relieved. Drained. Proud proud of myself for summoning the courage to go to her in the first place, and, if I'm being totally honest, a bit lightheaded. As if it wasn't enough to have seen her again. She didn't exactly summon me there for small talk. The Karsite weave. Within me this whole time. I knew the orb was no ordinary ball of magic before it to be Karsus's malignant creation. Gods! How did I not see that? But I should have known. What right had I to go about declaring myself an archmage when I was as foolish as a common apprentice in setting such an entity loose? At least now I'm armed with the truth. And Mistra's expectations. Sounds like the door to redemption is open at last. All I have to do is walk through it, carrying the crown of Karsus. Perhaps. I see few other options open to me. If I ever want to reclaim those parts of myself the orb snatched away. If I ever want to be me again. Thank you. There aren't many I'd trust to stand beside me on such a journey. Fewer still who would do so because they believed I deserved such a chance. If I could promise you one thing in return for your faith in me, it's this. I will use everything in my power to ensure we defeat this evil. I will not let you down. Now, I believe we've a date with an Elder Brain to get to. Shall we?
So, Gale's hedging his bets with Mistra? I can't say I blame him. Who'd want to hold a power like the crown of Karsus in their hands just to hand it to someone else? I know what my decision would be, but we're all different, of course.
Wow. So that was Mistra. Pretty spectacular stuff. But I think Gale was right not to agree to do her bidding, no questions asked. I respect the gods, but they don't always understand what they're asking of us. Maybe immortality makes it hard to know what it's like to be one of us piggies. Proud of Gale, though. It takes some man to hold his own in front of the divine. I don't know what I was expecting. Something beyond real. My life would have been so different if I ended up working for her instead of Gortash. Looking after these kids. Making a difference. Maybe in the next life.
I do not trust Mistra to do right with the crown. But I think I trust Gale even less. He must give it to her when the time comes, or his lust for power might well consume him.
Far from me to judge Gale for playing coy with Mistra. But I will not be cleaning up whatever mess she makes of him for it.
Mistra has forsaken Gale entirely. A crushing blow. But he is strong enough to persevere, I think.
Mistra has forsaken Gale entirely. A crushing blow. But he is strong enough to persevere, I think.
This crown seems too powerful and dangerous an object for mere mortals to possess. Too dangerous even for Mistra. But I would sooner trust it with a god than with Gale.